Oh my gosh, and I'm so excited that we get to talk to our friend here this morning. We want to check in with one of our good friends, Paul Hirons, who was an organizer for the Bengals UK Supporter Club. And we love it that you're joining us all the way from the UK this morning. Thanks for taking the time out to talk to us, Paul. Hooday.
No, you're welcome. Bob, Jen, what a treat to see you again. Thanks so much for asking me on.
Well, we're so glad you're here. Where are you at this point of the season? You know, you have all the preseason games, and for the most part, the feeling around here is we're not going to see the guys in these preseason games that we're ultimately going to see regularly once the regular season starts. Do you pay much attention over there to the preseason, or are you just waiting for the real game one?
Can I just, before I answer that question, can you imagine if Kerry Perry had a husband called Terry? That would be something, wouldn't it?
That would be the best. Paul, I had no idea you'd been listening that long, but that makes me like you even more. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
That is hilarious. Maybe next when Paul comes for his trip, we'll get Kerry Perry.
Kerry Perry to get you a cake. Yep, that's what we're going to do.
Please, I would love to meet Kerry Perry and her husband, Terry Perry, if she has a husband called Terry Perry. But anyway, to answer your question, Bob, we do, of course, because it's such a long time since, season end and the start of a season. So you know what the off season's like. It's, social media's going crazy. Websites are trying to fill their pages with any sort of content they possibly can. Top 10, top 10 kind of helmets, top 10 mouth guards, top 10 cleats, and all this kind of nonsense just because football isn't around. So when there's a whiff, you can smell it in the air. You can smell the manliness in the air. It's time to go. So we're ready to go. We can feel it. Pre-season is a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Because it's important, but it doesn't feel quite real yet.
Right.
And that's no disrespect to the guys who are on the roster bubble, who have careers to play for, and it's extremely important. But of course, 5,000 miles away, all we can do is just listen and read reports as to how Joe Burrow's getting on. Has T. Higgins signed yet? Yes, he has. How's he looking? How's the offensive line looking? How's the run defense going? Dax Hill looks great, or does he? Maybe he does, or does he? It's a complete guessing game at the moment. So it feels a bit false. It feels a bit like an amuse-bouche, Jen. It's the start of the little nugget that you have before the main course.
It's the appetizer, yes.
Exactly, you got it.
So
Bob, you all right?
Yeah, I am. I'm just enjoying you so much.
I know,
Paul.
you're just so great.
You have no idea.
I know, and you guys have been around with your club there for about 10 years since you founded Bengals UK, and you've been coming across the pond to come to some games, and you've got a game or a weekend set up that you guys are coming over in October, right?
Yeah, it is the 10th anniversary of Bengals UK this year. So we've got some stuff going on. We've got a nice party coming up. Details TBC. You're both invited, by the way. But
we should
you
go.
can make it.
Yeah.
The direct flights from CVG
I
now.
know.
So just hop on and then have a few drinks, then hop back on again, easy peasy. We've got some parties. We've got some other initiatives. I've got some really cool stuff coming up. Hopefully I'll be able to tell you about them when I see you in October. Not to be too presumptive, but it'd be great to see you in October. But yes, this will be the 10th year of Bengals UK, which I think is an amazing achievement. But also, it'll be the 3rd year this year that we're going to be bringing a group of British Bengals fans over to the Queen City. It'll be for the Philadelphia game at the end of October, so we get to experience the whiteout.
Oh, the whiteout game, yeah.
So that'll be fantastic. It's just all super exciting. Doing stuff that I've told you this before, but it's doing stuff that I never thought I would. I could never dream of when I was first started supporting the team back in. When I was in my, whatever, a long time ago.
We all were back then, Paul.
Yeah.
We all were, yeah. We remember those days. You know what you made me realize, too, by the way, as you mentioned flying into CVG? If you can fly into the Cincinnati, Ohio airport that is in Kentucky, why can't Kerry Perry, an Ohio resident, have a cake in the Kentucky State Fair?
Right.
I don't know. I think Kerry Perry's got legitimate beef there, and I think Terry Perry would have to have a few words to say about that as well. So I'm looking forward to keeping up with that story. To be honest with you, cake controversies in Northern Kentucky. I didn't know it was a thing, but I have been to the Kentucky State Fair before, and I know how serious that kind of business is.
Oh yeah.
Next time we'll hook her up with the Great British Baking Show.
There you go. Yeah. She did. Kerry Perry can do that instead.
Yeah.
And you know who was the host of the Great British Baking Show once upon a time?
Who?
A woman called Mary Berry.
Oh, that's right, Mary Berry. That's right.
So Kerry Perry and Terry Perry could then meet Mary Berry.
Paul, you're blowing my mind on topics that I did not expect today.
This is all supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
It is.
It sounds like something out of Mary Poppins.
It's straight out of Mary Poppins. Hey, how are you? We can't let you go without letting us know how you feel about the season. Are you still worried that Jamar is still standing on the sidelines? Are you trepidatious about seeing Joe out there in real game action for the first time in quite a while? Set up the season for us.
Bob, I'm a Bengals fan, so I'm always trepidatious. There's always cautious optimism, do you know what I mean? But we've been through a hell of a lot over the years of false dawns, false promises, false everythings. Now, even though we've had great success over the past 3 years, and goodness me, what a wild, brilliant, exciting ride it's been, you still kind of think, well, you know, Baltimore Ravens have just signed Derrick Henry, and Terry Perry's going to be playing somewhere else, and God knows who else. But you have to look at it objectively. I think we've got some tremendous players still. We've lost Joe Mixon, obviously, which was a big thing. We've lost old DJ Reader. You can see the shirt at the back there, my favourite player. Tyler Boyd, a mainstay for kind of 6-7 years, has gone. But I am hopeful. There are a few hot spots on the team that I'm kind of a little bit worried about, namely the run defense. I'll be interested to see the starting cornerback situation. But already, we spoke to Paul Dana Jr., a very well-known local journalist, on our podcast yesterday. And he said already the secondary is looking much more solid because of the signings of Geno Stone and Von Bell. So you hope the defense is going to be better. I know what you mean about Joe Burrow, but I think he's going to be fine. You hope he is. As for Uno, who knows about Uno Chase? I think someone quite cleverly, I thought, described, because he's turning up for camp every day with a big smile on his face, different hat on every day. He's mucking about with his mates. He's having fun. It's the friendliest holdout I have ever seen in my life.
That's true.
Right, someone said it's more like a hold-in than a hold-out.
Yeah.
So I think this is just me personally, me guessing, because obviously we don't know what's going on between KT and Troy and Jamar's people, right? We just don't know the inside knowledge there. But it feels to me like the Justin Jefferson, his great mate from LSU, Justin Jefferson, who got like $50 trillion in the last for his contract extension.
Yeah. Right.
Jamar was just waiting to see what his great mate was going to get. That's changed everything. He wants what he's got, and I think this is more shots fired. And I think the more interesting stuff might be next year. If the contract isn't signed this off season, I think there might be more sort of aggressive holdouts next year. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I just hope he's ready, because he's such a good dude, isn't he? So much fun, and he's a hell of a player as well.
Electric out there on the field.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be out there on against the Patriots in Week 1.
Well, Paul, if people want to keep up with you guys and find you and keep up with all the good stuff you're doing on, because you do the podcast where you're talking to, like you said, some great journalists and people from the Bengals organization, where can they find you? And then I do hope you come and visit us when you come over.
Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Unfortunately, it'd probably have to be like early on a Monday morning, like it has been the last couple of years. But that's fine. That's all right. Where am I? Who am I? What's
your podcast? Where can they find the podcast and the social media?
Thank you. Right. Well, our podcast is called Cincinnati. Do you see what we did there? Cincinnati. Yeah. So that's been going about 6-7 years. We've had all kinds of great people on. Zach Taylor, Lou Anarumo, Anthony Munoz, Carson Palmer, etc.
Wow.
The list goes on. And we've just recently had Paul Dana on talking about Cam. We're on SoundCloud and iTunes and all the good, your regular podcast providers.
Okay.
If you want to come and say hello on social media, we're on Twitter at @Houday_UK, on Facebook at Bengals UK, and Instagram Bengals_UK. There's no uniformity there whatsoever, so apologies about that. But just search Bengals UK and you'll find. Actually, don't do that, because some people from a local like cat orphanage have been getting in touch with us, saying that a bunch of people have been in touch with them and they think it's like a refuge for Bengal cats in the UK. So, and asking me all kinds of medical advice how to treat Bengal cats for a certain condition. So again, you get a bit of everything here, which is variety is the spice of life.
Paul, you are a delight. Thanks for taking time this morning, man. We really appreciate you.
It's great to see you guys, honestly, and thank you so much for all the support and having me on again. And hopefully I'll see you in a couple of months.
We hope so.
Sounds great. Houday, take care, Paul.
Houday to you guys.
Bye-bye.
I love him so much.
Just so good. So good.
If we did get Terry Perry and Mary Berry and all the berries.
Carrie
Perry?
Carrie Perry.
Am I getting mixed up?
He just
Terry,
hopes,
he
hopes
created.
that Carrie is related somehow to a Terry.
Sorry.
And then they can meet Mary.
Yeah.
You eat all the berries.
Okay.
Holy Moses.
I just love it. He's
that
great.
was incredible. Sure, you could stop watching now, but let's be honest, you want to see more. So click some of those links, or better yet, go ahead and tap subscribe. That way you'll catch more content from Local 12.